season has ended, and this December's astrology is much lighter and more grounded at the same time. It's a little bit more confusing and wild at first, but by the end of the month and holiday season, it really settles down, and I do like the end of the year astrology. If you're excited to dive into what exactly we can expect to close off 2022, which is crazy because I just remember filming 2019 year ahead, no one fucking watching me, and here we are. If you're excited, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. If you want to know how this is happening in your life in particular, watch my December rising sign forecast for your sign. This will talk about how this astrology is showing up in your own life. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maren. For this video and all my videos, I'm using the tropical zodiac within Western astrology, particularly Hellenistic techniques, including whole sign houses. Not that for general transits I'm talking about houses, but FYI. And I have a full video on why I use whole sign houses if you're curious. So from the 1st to the 2nd, we open up with Mercury in Sagittarius, squaring Neptune in Pisces. Mercury is communication, and a square to Neptune, the planet delusion or illusion, shows confusion in communication defining the early part of the month. So if possible, I would not believe anyone full-heartedly. I would not sign anything from the 1st to the 2nd. It's not the best energy for straightforward, clear communication, and I wouldn't trust anything nebulous. Like, don't count on plans to really come true or be clear from the 1st to the 2nd. Now, on the 1st as well, Venus in Sagittarius will oppose Mars in Gemini. Venus opposite Mars is the quintessential cat and mouse game. I wouldn't say that it's that bad because Venus is involved and we like Venus, but Mars oppositions tend to be frustrating and aggravating. So if you're looking to go on a date or like meet someone that you're flirting with, it could be decent because it's like whatever, it's a little bit of back and forth. If this is like a day you're spending time with family or friends, it could be a little bit more aggressive where it's like a love-hate dynamic. That's the most concise way that I would say this, is that we start off the month, one, with confusing communication, and two, with a love-hate dynamic with our interpersonal relationships. And as always, when I'm talking about this placement in a particular sign, you can look to if you have any planets in that house or in that sign, that whole sign house of like Sagittarius or Gemini, you're going to be the most impacted by this energy, but everyone will have that occur in a certain part of their chart, as I explained in your rising sign forecast. But that's a little bit way to understand what's happening here. On the 4th, Venus in Sagittarius will then square Neptune in Pisces. Venus squaring Neptune is generally a more challenging energy around things being too good to be true. Venus is the lower octave of pleasure. Neptune is the higher octave. It's like spiritual love and pleasure. So Venus square Neptune is tension between lower octave, higher octave, cute shit, too good to be true energy generally. So it does start out the month on a too good to be true in love and relationships and in communication. It might be a little bit of love-hate that funnels that, I want to say toxicity, but like it does seem like an unhealthy relationship metaphor for the beginning of the month. Jumping back in a few days later because I realized that I forgot to talk about the full moon in Gemini. And there's a full moon in Gemini happening on December 7th, and this full moon in Gemini is exactly conjunct Mars. So full moons are already times of peak drama, energy. Usually they can be increased violence, but also increased fun. It's a time of party, celebration, that kind of thing. This full moon is exactly conjunct Mars, retrograde in Gemini. So it does look like a very aggressive, frustrated energy. Depending on where this is falling in your chart, it might be less personal or more personal. It might be someone else in your life. It might be you, but it does seem like very, very aggressive energy around the 7th to just be aware of. Probably going to be a lot of minced words, a lot of feelings coming out that are pretty like aggressive. I wouldn't be shocked if I did hear about like mass violence during this time. So I'd lay low because maybe the violence will just be you mad at the TV or something. Then on the 8th, the sun in Sagittarius will oppose Mars. On the 8th, so we continue this very frustrated energy. With the sun opposite Mars as well, it can show leaders being in combat with one another or leaders being in conflict with one another. So I don't particularly like the first week of the month for like leadership. I don't so much mean it in a world geopolitical context. I just mean that people in positions of power are getting very aggravated and frustrated with one another. So be careful to your boss, basically around the 8th. Then on the 9th, Venus enters Capricorn. Now it'll join Mercury there, and this is lovely for delayed gratification or long-term goals because Venus is values, it's beauty, it's love, it's appreciation, and Capricorn is a sign of climbing the ladder step by step to achieve a goal. Capricorn is goal-oriented, it is long-term oriented, it sees like up the mountain, where does it need to go, and we're climbing that. So Venus entering Capricorn shows literal like quality over quantity. I think of investing in furniture or art as a good example. If you cut it kind of cheap on furniture or art, like you're living in that shit. You're not going to like it as much as spending a little bit more for something a little bit more comfortable. So that's a good example there. But Venus does enter Capricorn on the 9th. Then from the 14th to the 15th, the sun is squaring Neptune, shows confusion around leadership. The sun squaring Neptune is not quite as too good to be true as Venus squaring Neptune, but there's a lot of Mars-Neptune energy that is being activated the first half of the month, which shows confusion in will and confusion in action. So there's not a lot of very clear actions being taken beginning of the month. There might be a lot of talk and a lot of dreams and things not really coming into play. Then from the 17th to the 18th, Mercury in Capricorn is trining Uranus and Taurus. This is great for picking up the pace and feeling like we're getting work done. We're suddenly having realizations and we're suddenly bringing things to light. I love the mental energy from the 17th to the 18th. We might find that there's clarity and news coming out that does tie details together. Now on the 20th, Jupiter re-enters Aries. So Jupiter in Aries was there from May until October. It showed growth of individuality, growth of independence, growth of focus on the self and free speech and anti-censorship. I do have a full video on Jupiter in Aries if you would like to watch that to understand better about this long-term transit. But Jupiter is entering Aries where it will be throughout the spring of 2023, showing that once again, there's less focus on Jupiter in Pisces, which is growth of enjoyment, growth of spirituality, growth of art, of travel. It's more about back to what really matters, so to speak, like growth of anti-censorship, focus on me, focus on independence. Then on the 21st to the 22nd, the sun in Capricorn is squaring Jupiter in Aries. So this is really positive and really motivating. Squares to Jupiter are positive. The sun squaring Jupiter is inflating the ego, yes, but it can be really courageous. It can be very growth oriented. So I like to see this, that from Capricorn season onward, which is the 21st, the sun entering Capricorn there and it squares Jupiter in Aries. It is a very optimistic, very motivated end to the year, like we're running to get things done and we feel really empowered. Then on the 22nd, Venus and Capricorn will trine Uranus and Taurus. Venus and Uranus together is great for novel enjoyment, for finding new kinds of pleasure. In earth signs, it's much more tangible, like I found a new way to get this done, I found a new way to construct this, very positive, very tangible. I love to see this. And on the 23rd, there is a new moon in Capricorn. This new moon is one of my favorites. Even though Mercury is about to station retrograde, it does have a lot of other things that are a little bit lighter in it. I like the fact that there's a lot going on in Capricorn. It's not close to doing anything really intense with the outer planets. I mean, it's in the same sign as Pluto, but it's not too close by degree. This is a new moon that is practical, it's tangible, it's business oriented. I filmed a video on this a few days ago, which I love, like the video I love filming it. It's a very empowered new beginning, very tangible, business oriented new beginning the end of the month. If you want to start anything new, do not take the holidays off or take them off and go start your side hustle as your main hustle kind of thing, where it looks like things are taking off business wise. Then on the 29th, Mercury is stationing retrograde. Not too big of a deal, but I mean, Mercury retrogrades do mean that starting a little bit more trouble, a little bit more chaos in travel or communication. Not the best for signing contracts, international travel, or life-changing decisions. Minor inconveniences, nothing too major. There are more intense things happening longer term that are much more difficult, but do know that that will be what's happening around New Year's Eve if you want to make plans for that. Then on the 31st, Venus is conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, and this is where things start to get a little more intense because Venus and Pluto shows kind of like obsession around love, obsession around values. This can be metaphorically like the high-low, really toxic relationship. It can also show that we are being too paranoid and too obsessive with non-relationship things, like with money. It can show hoarding money. It can show that things are coming out around pretty insane financial situations. But the end of the month could be quite a toxic or manipulative relationship dynamic for some. I don't mean that in a way to prescribe this to anyone, but like you might find the end of the month, there's some toxicity coming in around obsession or paranoia in relationships. So if you have any thoughts, please do let me know down below how you're feeling about this month. I particularly do like it. Of course, there's challenges, but like I do really like this month, especially the last 2 weeks. Now, the tarot card that we have for this December for everyone is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, it's a pretty celebratory card. It's not the end being won. It's not like you won the war. It's like you won the battle. It's like, yay, we've gotten this far. So I do see this month as a celebration, but not the end. But it is a month to celebrate how far you've come. I like that energy to end the year, but also to say, let's keep going. So like I said, if you did enjoy this, please do let me know down below. And I see that a lot of you have not subscribed yet. So if you would like to join the marinara sauce, all of us here, feel free to gently saucify I need to shut up. You subscribe if you want. So that's about that. That's about it. That's that. I will see you in 2023.
How there is one